When the wealthy CEO Martin Hale stepped onto the stage that morning, no one expected what he was about to say. The room was filled with loyal employees. Some had been there for years, some for decades, waiting for the monthly company update. But Martin didn't smile, didn't greet them, didn't even pretend to care. He simply cleared his throat and announced, "Starting today, this company will run entirely on automation. All human positions are terminated effective immediately." For a moment, no one moved. Then panic broke out. People begged him to reconsider. A mother with a newborn pleaded through tears. An older man who had given 30 years to the company collapsed into a chair. But Martin stood tall, unmoved. "Robots don't get tired. They don't argue. They don't make mistakes," he said coldly, before turning his back and walking out as though he had done something brilliant. Outside, his driver Amir was waiting beside the car as always. Amir was a quiet man. Kind eyes, worn clothes, always respectful. He opened the door for Martin, who immediately remarked, "Soon even this job won't exist. A self-driving car would do it better." Amir forced a polite smile, but deep down, the words stung. He knew what losing a job really meant. He had grown up in poverty, where every paycheck was a lifeline. The following week, Martin's perfect automated dream began cracking. Robots glitched. Machines froze. Important client meetings were missed because the scheduling AI double-booked times. Packages were delivered to the wrong cities. One malfunctioning robot spilled hot coffee on a visiting investor, causing a partnership to fall apart instantly. Every day, another disaster. Instead of feeling regret, Martin grew angrier. "Why is nothing working?" he shouted at technicians who were still trying to help, even though they no longer worked there. But he never apologized. It was easier to blame the metal than to admit he had made a terrible mistake. That evening, exhausted and furious, Martin stormed into his car. "Drive," he barked at Amir. But halfway home, Amir gently slowed down and pulled over near a small roadside stall. Martin snapped instantly. "Why are we stopping?" "I didn't authorize a break." Amir didn't argue. He quietly stepped out and bought a bowl of hot soup from an elderly woman selling food on the sidewalk. From the car window, Martin watched as Amir approached a thin, shivering homeless man sitting under a street lamp. Amir knelt, placed the steaming bowl in his hands, and said something Martin couldn't hear. The homeless man broke down crying, tears of gratitude, warmth, and relief. Slowly, Martin's anger faded into confusion. When Amir returned to the car, Martin demanded, "Why would you waste your time doing that? We were already behind schedule." Amir sat down, looked at him gently, and said something that pierced through Martin's arrogance like a knife. "Sir, machines can replace our work, but they can't replace our hearts." A robot would walk past that man and see nothing. A human sees pain and chooses compassion. Martin opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out. That night, Martin sat alone in his modern home. Clean lines, perfect lighting, automated appliances that greeted him but felt strangely cold. For the first time, he noticed how empty everything felt. No noise, no warmth, no humanity, just machines responding to commands. He remembered the employees he had fired, their fear, their tears, their families. He remembered Amir's quiet kindness. And he realized something he had refused to admit. Robots were efficient, but they were not alive. And neither was he, not really. The next morning, before sunrise, Martin returned to the office. He called every former employee and asked them to come back for a meeting. When they arrived, hesitant, worried, unsure, Martin stood before them. No suit jacket, no arrogance, only a trembling voice. "I was wrong," he said quietly. "I thought success meant removing flaws. But I removed people instead." His voice cracked. "I forgot that you are the heart of this company, and without you, it collapses." The room was silent. Some employees wiped tears. Some watched him in disbelief. Then Martin turned toward Amir, who was standing near the doorway. "You," he said, "taught me a lesson no machine could teach. You reminded me what it means to be human." "Thank you, Amir." The employees slowly began to applaud. One person clapped, then another, and soon the whole room erupted in cheers. Not because they were getting their jobs back, but because they witnessed something rare, a powerful man rediscovering his humanity. From that day on, the company operated differently. Machines were used to help people, not replace them. Every employee knew their value. And Martin, once cold and distant, became a leader who listened and cared. Because in the end, he learned the truth the hard way. Machines can build a company, but only humans can build a soul.